here, VIP Coach, High Level Performance. This is a short video on executive health, on creating optimal health for executives. And the one thing that I notice constantly is that the executive or entrepreneur puts themselves last. And for the short term, sure, makes sense. They have to tend to all the other things that everyone needs of them, sure. But it becomes so consuming, it actually becomes the means to their demise, to their disappearance. So what we have to do is we have to look at this area called health. We have to bring it first, because if you're flat on your back and you have $1 million in the bank, you're not going to enjoy it. And start putting back together an unfamiliar territory again called creating optimal health. And so there's a number of things that we need to address. Now there are 4 components that are in this dimension. 1 is sleep. 2 is your physical movement. 3 is meditation. And 4 is your food intake, your nutrition. Now, so let's go around those 4. Let me give you kind of a broad brush of what we tend to do so you can kind of get the hang of it. And you can already start implementing some of this so you can see results right away. One thing right away that we do is we track the number of hours that our clients sleep. Why? Because sleep is really the foundation. It's the foundation of your hunger level, your hormones, and how satiated you feel in your stomach. Your sleep is going to help your mental functioning and your level of alertness and your level of awakeness. Your mood is dependent on your sleep, because when you're underslept, the world gets stupid, right? You've heard that before. And so when you're getting the right amount of sleep every night, everything else works. But again, most of us are underslept. About 78% of the clients that we help when we begin are underslept. They're not getting the appropriate amount of sleep. So number 1 is start making a priority out of the number of hours that you need to sleep every night. So if you need 7 hours, try that. If you don't know, try 8, try 7, try 6. Probably don't go below 5.5. I mean, I think it's been proven that you need to have ample sleep. So don't play tricks on yourself. There's no Jedi mind tricks. You need to get rest. Sleep is so you can take out the garbage at night. You can get rid of all the data that's not going to be useful, and you're going to make space in this place for the new upcoming observations and data and information you're going to collect through your experiences. So there's only a certain amount you're going to keep that's useful. We'll let your brain elect that. It is the regulator of that information. It is the bouncer of what gets in and goes out. And so to do its job, we need to get into a sleep state. So first, determine the amount of hours you're going to sleep. Number 2 is you're not to do anything stimulating or distracting. You're not to look at your screen time 30 minutes before bedtime. This is an essential habit. Television is the number 1 training for ADD. If you want to become distractible, just watch television before you go to bed. You're overstimulating your hard drive. You're just overclocking your system with too much stimulation before you go to bed. Your brain is thinking about and processing all of that stimulation. It's not good for it. It's not helpful to you. So 30 minutes before, we need to cut the tube. We need to cut the screen time, cut your cell phone time. There's no screen time, at least a half hour. I recommend an hour, but that is the habit. And then you decide every night the regular time that you're going to go to bed. This is great because it makes a decision. You make a decision that that is the time, and then you begin to kind of take your time burglars, the things that sort of take you off that, and you start to get creative about how to structure that. But you need to make up your mind about when you're going to go to bed. Also, make up your mind about when you're going to get up. So if you go to bed at 10, and you say, I'm going to get up at 6, I'm going to sleep 8 hours. You're making those decisions. You have an intention to do so. So I get asked all the time, well, JD, how do I get into a restful sleep? And I say, well, what you need to do first is probably tune out of your world and focus on your breathing. Even if you have a partner next to you in bed, you could still let them know, hey, I'm going to be doing some breathing exercises. You need to focus on your inhalation, then your hold, and then your exhalation. I recommend you do 5, maybe 10 of these reps. So when you breathe in deeply to your diaphragm, you're going to count probably 6. I would hold for 12, and then I would exhale for 8. So you do 6 through your nose, and then hold for 12 seconds, and then exhale, counting 8. But I recommend that you do this sound, whoosh, till no more air. And if you keep cycling like that, really what you're doing is you're focusing on one thing, and you're just simply giving your body the signals that it's time to transition into sleep. So these are some things, again, they will not work for you unless you focus them, unless you work with them. So they're important, but you have to implement them. Okay, so there's sleep. I'm going to give you another one that's on the food side, and that is in the morning, be thinking what you can do to give yourself some protein or maybe some good fat. I like avocados, but giving yourself some protein, maybe 3 eggs, take away the yolks in 2 of them, leave one of them, put some spinach in there, maybe mix in some kale if you like that, some chard, whatever it is that you could put in there to get some greens. Sometimes I like green beans. Pick something that you like and then eat that. And that should probably be 60% of your breakfast. Stay off the sugars and the breads in the morning. Just do not, because you cause that blood sugar to spike and then it takes away your ability to concentrate. You can even get hypoglycemia by having a really, really high sugar drop. If you're eating donuts or pastries, be mindful. Don't do it. Don't do it often. Don't do it too often, because it creates or stores a lot of fat, because the sugar causes that. I don't want to get into that in this video. There's a lot to that. So. But again, you need to get off the right start in the morning. The morning ritual is what's going to make the day. So it's very important to eat flavonoids in the morning. Your blueberries, you make sure that you get your raspberries. You've got your nuts. You can eat almonds in the morning. Anything that's flavonoid. Look up the flavonoids. Look them up on Google. Pick 4 or 5 flavonoids that you can do. Flavonoid is like brain food. It's just great. So you can chum on that. You can kind of graze on that throughout the day. I recommend that you take at least 3 breaks during the day where you can have some of those flavonoids. That's a really good thing. Maybe a little bit of string cheese. Try to eat whole fruit. Don't eat the smoothies. Don't turn them into juice. The fiber on the outside of the apple, the peel of the apple is excellent. So try to keep it whole. It's probably better that way. I recommend that you also prepare food the night before, so that, maybe during that half hour and then that other half hour before bedtime, you're thinking strategic about the way that you want to position yourself in the morning, and being thoughtful is going to make all the difference. One thing I also like to do for cardiovascular purpose and also mental function is I like to drink a lot of fire water. And fire water is, you take a 12-ounce glass. This is great for your memory. It's great for your mental function, great for your cardiovascular fitness. Your liver loves it. I would take a 12-ounce glass of water, take about a tablespoon of turmeric, put it in there. Also cut a lime, take both halves, squeeze it in there. You can put in some cayenne pepper as well, maybe a tablespoon depending on how hot you like it. Be careful. And you might also want to put in some apple cider vinegar and maybe some honey, some organic honey or some organic maple syrup. There's a lot of variations of this. You can look it up online. I've been doing it for several years. I absolutely love it. I notice a difference. I notice a difference in my weight. I notice a difference in my endurance, my concentration. I notice a difference in my mental functioning. I also notice a difference in my skin. And so it's not the best tasting thing, but it serves a great purpose to create optimal health, so you might want to give that a try. You could do 2 a day, which is great. So, as far as eating habits go, these eating habits are important. The point is that when you're hungry, you need to eat. Oftentimes what we do throughout the day is we just sort of work with whatever our schedule dictates us to do. And what you want to begin doing is starting from yourself, making decisions, being strategic about when I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. You need to feed yourself when you're hungry, so have something available. Don't wait, because when you do not feed yourself when you're hungry, you're starving yourself, and you're telling your body, your nervous system is telling your body, hey, you need to store up. Whenever we get food next, you're going to have to store up. What this person's doing is they don't feed us when we want to. We give him all the signals, but he doesn't pay attention. He does not help us. So you want to start getting into a kind of a rewiring of your brain that when you're hungry, eat. You probably also buy a lot of diet foods. If you're like me, I was sold on all these diet foods. It's just a bunch of marketing. So probably what you can do is start getting more of the foods that are healthy and that you want. And start writing down all the foods that you normally like, and then kind of put a green light by the ones that are healthy, yellow light by the ones that aren't, and put a red light by the ones that you really need to stop, right? So the idea is that you are going to start looking at your fridge inventory. You're going through your refrigerator. You're pretty much doing a fridge audit and plucking all the things that you just can't stand eating that are really healthy. So we want to get all that stuff out of there, because you're telling yourself, I really don't want this, but I have to. Let's fill it with the things that you actually like that are pretty good for you. And if they're not as good for you as they could be, maybe have a day or 2 a week where you just do those things to kind of get it out of your system. And I highly recommend that once out of every 7 days or so, you really go for it. You have something that you've been missing, you have those urges, you want to spring for something that you shouldn't do. Well, that's not going to go out of your mind soon. So you might as well give yourself 1 day to do it, and the other days you're on your good side. Don't get into the thinking that All these other days are so good that now you've justified having a bad day. You don't need to justify it. You do it strategically. You know yourself. And so that's it. When you eat, it's important to eat mindfully. Don't look at your screens. Put your fork down, put your spoon down, put your knife down when you're chewing your food. Taste your food. Go through the first step in digestion so it can get from here and favor the rest of the process. So it's so important to eat mindfully. Don't watch TV and eat. Don't talk to everybody while you're eating. Don't talk with food in your mouth. Listen. Listen better. Make it a point not to talk so much. Eat and then talk. When you have family, don't talk while you're eating. Eat and enjoy each other's company. Enjoy that body language communication and being together, and then talk. It's such a bad habit that we just get into just talking while we eat. We think, well, we need to bring up problems while we're eating. Oh, it's not a good time to be resolving conflicts, not a good time to be doing that on top of the eating. Focus on the food, savor the food, do yourself a favor, and enjoy more. And the other last thing is don't eat with your eyes, eat with your stomach. So when you're full, stop. Don't worry about that. If you leave food on your plate, you have a lot of people in the world that need food and all that. Sure, but as far as your health goes, when you are full, stop. You can figure out where else to give the food. You can take it home. You can give it to someone, but when you're full, stop. So one thing I started doing was I started chewing with my eyes closed, and I noticed that my stomach signals were a lot more prevalent. They were really, really important, and I was willfully signaled by them. And so, again, don't use your eyes to eat. You're going to gorge stuff. Use your stomach. And so, eat the things that you like that are healthy. Take all the stuff out that's diet-oriented out of your fridge that you just go, ugh. If you're hungry, eat. Right? Make sure that you give yourself food when you're hungry. Pretty simple. Eat mindfully. Eat things that you're conscientiously eating so you just focus on the food itself. And so simple. And just don't eat with your eyes, eat with your stomach. And if you try those habits, it's great. If for some reason you have to eat food that's not good, you're with other people, I get that, and you're limited to that menu or you're limited to the ice cream parlor or whatever, just take 30% of whatever that is and take it away. Right? Then do some portion control. There's your backup. I also recommend that you do a daily meditation. You do actually 2, 15 minutes minimum, maybe 30 is recommended. And that you do deep breathing. As you take that oxygen in and you do that deep diaphragmatic breathing. In another video, I'll talk about some of the meditation. We have several guided meditations that we teach the executives and clients. And so look, be mindful about your health. Be conscientious about your health. Think about where you're going to be in 3 years. Think about all the wonderful things that you're grateful for in life. And then connect that to creating optimal health. You want to live your best life. You want to live the length of life that if you possibly can position yourself, you're going to have more experiences and you're going to be able to enjoy so much more thinking ahead. But think about where you would be in 3, 5, 10 years, and then look back at this time and think about yourself and say, wait a minute, what am I doing? What are the choices that I need to make, aligning my actions with my intentions? Am I actually moving into what really matters to me in terms of how healthy I am and the kind of health habits that I can focus on? My food, my sleep, my rest, all these things, we just don't want to compromise them. And so slow is the new fast. That means the slower you go, the more attentive you are, conscientious, mindful you are about this, the more you're likely to change your experience of the future, and that's very exciting. So thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. If you'd like more information about our one-on-one coaching programs, we're at highlevelperformance.com. We'd love to hear from you. So please find us online. I'm at VIP Coach at highlevelperformance.com. Thank you for listening to my video. I'm JD. See you soon.
If you'd like more information about High Level Performance, please visit highlevelperformance.com. Please click on our coaching navigation button to learn more about our one-on-one coaching programs for business owners and their teams, and also to look into our high-level performance community. We also have several books available online, like The Day I Built My Barbecue, for you, the business owner, to enjoy your creative freedom, or The Unstoppable You, for you, the executive or business owner who wants to create more value for others by being more of yourself, being more of the artist in your business, not just the engineer or the economist. Or maybe Stand in the place of all you are. It's about creative purpose, connecting with a larger sense of self and how we integrate our authentic self, our motivation to be more of ourselves in the lanes of making a difference. Just recently, I wrote a book called Stay Longer and Listen Deeper, which incorporated the kind of helping that leaders can incorporate when they come from a place of humility, compassion, kindness, and what I call helpful help. Because there's so much help out there that isn't helpful, I decided to define a new standard for what leaders can do, what they can deliver into the world as helpful help, helping with integrity. I look forward to hearing from you. If you'd like to comment about our videos, you can send me an email directly, and that's VIPcoach@highlevelperformance.com. Thank you.